Hey everyone, today we're going to start talking about volume, and we're going to start off with prisms, chapter 9, section 4, finding the volume of a prism. The important thing to remember now is our unit of measurement changed. We are now in three-dimensional measurement, so we're not talking about area, we're talking about cubic things. So for example, this might be kind of hard to see, but you can see I have this little tiny cereal box here. And things would get measured, so if you pretended that this was like, you know, centimeter by centimeter, it would be how many, you know, cubic centimeters fill the inside of the box. And that's what we're talking about, volume. We're not talking about surface area of the outside, we're talking about the volume. So how much fits on the inside, okay? So when we look at here, we know the volume of a prism is the product of the area of the base and the height of the prism. So it's basically, you know, how many cubes fit here at the base and then how many stacks of those high. And that gives you the volume of whatever prism you're talking about. So volume equals B, capital B. All right, everybody, it's a capital B. This is base area times height. So whatever the prism is, whether it's a rectangular prism, triangular prism, down the line you might have a pentagonal prism, whatever it is, it's the area of the base times the height. So base area times height. So if we look at example number 1 here, I just have a plain rectangular prism. Yes, I know you know it's just length times width times height, but we're going to start using kind of our new version of the formula just to give you that little bit of practice. Volume equals base area times height. And then you should always identify what is the base. The base here is 6 by 8, so it is a rectangle. So I know that that's base times height. And so that is equal to 6 times 8 times the height of my entire prism, which is 15. When multiplied all out, you get 720 yards cubed. Don't forget that. Remember, it's cubes now. Okay, looking at example 2, again here we have a rectangular prism. Okay, so you can see our bases are here in the front and in the back, right? Remember, because prisms have rectangular faces, and whatever the base is tells you what type of prism it is. I'm not sure if I said it wrong a second ago, but this is a triangular prism. Okay, so volume equals base area times height, but our base happens to be a triangle, and remember the formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So this is what we substitute in for the capital B. 1/2 base times height times the height of the whole prism. So we have 1/2 times the base, which is 5.5, times the height here, which is 2, times the height of the whole prism here, which is 4. Calculate this all out. Use your calculator. If you were going to use your calculator, you could either type in 0.5, you know, 5/10 times all this, or remember you could multiply all this out and then divide by 2 because they are inverse operations. You do that, you get 22 inches cubed, and that is the volume of this triangular prism. Okay, so now I want you to pause it, and I want you to try these two on your own, and then unpause the video and check to see if you got your answers right. So pause it, for reals. Okay. So number 1 is a cube. This has a volume of 64 feet cubed. Base area times height, so base times height times height. It's a triangular prism. This has a volume of 270 meters cubed. I will work this one out for you because triangular ones are a little funky. 1/2 base times height times height. Remember this part right here, that's your capital B. So we have 1/2 times the base, which is 12, times the height, which is 5, times the height of the prism, which is 9, and when multiplied will give you that. So hopefully you guys did a nice job on those. So now we're going to look at how we can apply this kind of thing into a real world application. These are movie theater popcorn bags. I'm sure we all miss going to the movies. I sure do. So a movie theater designs 2 bags to hold 96 cubic inches of popcorn. So they kind of gave us the volume right here. We need to know that. A, find the height of each bag. You can see that the height is not supplied for each bag. And then part B says which bag should the theater choose to reduce the amount of paper needed. Remember, because even though they have the same volume, they may not have the same surface area. So yes, we have to go back to surface area for this one. So if we start with bag A first, we know that its volume equals base area times height. So base times height times height. So we're here now, and we know our volume, so we're going to start putting our volume in. So it's 96 equals 4 times 3 times our unknown height here. 96 equals 4 times 3 is 12h. Divide both sides by 12. H is equal to 8. So it has a height of 8 inches. So bag A, an 8-inch height. Now we can come over here and do the same thing for bag B. So I know that it's 96 is equal to 4 times 4 times H. 96 is equal to 16H. So H is equal to 6. So it has a height of 6 inches. You can clearly see that it's shorter. So now you have all the dimensions. We know the height of each bag, but now we'd want to find the surface area, and we have enough information now to find the surface area of each. Okay, let me push this up a little bit so I can come over here to part A, or to bag A, and I can find the surface area. Notice there's only one base because the top of the popcorn does not get a cover. So its surface area, it's length times width, not 2 of those, just 1, plus 2 times length times height, plus 2 times width times height. Do you have to write this all out? No, you don't, but you just need to find all the dimensions. So I know that this is 4 times 3 plus 2 times 4 by 8. Plus 2 times 3 by 8, which is 12 plus 64 plus 48. So bag A has a surface area of 124 inches squared. Don't forget, now we're talking about surface area, so it's inches squared. Okay, bag B, I don't know why I did it that way, but I did. Again, it's the surface area is equal to just length times width. Only one of those. Remember, there's no top to our popcorn. Length times width plus 2 of the length times the height plus 2 of the width times the height. That helps you be organized. Do it that way. That's awesome. This is 4 times 4 plus 2 times 4 times 6 plus 2 times 4 times 6. Sorry, I had to squeeze that all in there again. 16 plus 48 plus 48. This is 112 inches squared. You can see that the surface area of bag B is less, which means less paper is required. So the movie theater should choose the dimensions for bag B. Again, this is volume of prisms. It is base area times height. So whatever the base is, find the area of it, remembering all your area formulas, and just multiply it by the height of the prism. The units are cubed. You can see how many cubes would fit in this little tiny box. And that is volume of prism.